Right, let's start. So this is the fourth lecture. We start now Unit 3, title for this unit, Extensive Reading, page 28. Right, okay, let's start it, next page. So Unit 3, Extensive Reading, here. Right. Pre-reading number 1. Right. Let's adjust the. Oh, sorry. Here we are. Here. Let's adjust the arrow. Right here. Okay. Pre-reading number 1. Discuss these questions with a partner. And do you often read in English for private study? Do you read English stories, for example? Right. Do you read books in English for the university? Yes, of course we read. We read books for different subjects in university, right? Let's say if yes. The question, what kind now of reading do you do? Right. What kind of reading do you do? Reading on the internet, or reading newspapers or magazines, or reading books, for example Harry Potter books, or reading from English study books or others. I think here at the university students usually do reading from English study books, so we circle this, of course. What else? And we also do reading on the internet. We read some topics on the internet for extra activities, and sometimes for doing some kind of research and so on. Now some students, they are interested in doing reading in newspapers and magazines in English. Some students, yes. Some other students, they are interested in reading English books like Harry Potter books and so on. Right? You may discuss these with your friends. Now, if you say no, I don't do English reading, or I don't read in English. The question, what are the reasons why? Why you don't read in English? Why? For English students, in English, I mean English department students, all of us, we do reading in English. For other departments, they don't. Why? Maybe A, it's hard to find enjoyable material, or it's too slow and difficult to read in English, maybe. Or C, I don't enjoy reading in general, English or even in Arabic, maybe in general. Or D, I don't have time. Or E, I don't think it's necessary. Maybe one of these for other departments. Maybe, yeah, you choose. Next task, pre-reading number 2. Now, in your opinion, right, how useful is reading alone in developing the following language skills? Discuss your answers with a partner. Some students, they like to read alone, individually, maybe at home, right? Why is this? Does it develop these skills? Let's read. For example, reading skills. What do you think about reading skills? Very useful, or quite useful, or not useful? Circle one of these and discuss it with your colleague, right? When we say reading skills, what do we mean by reading skills? We have different reading skills. For example, we have what is so-called skimming reading. Skimming reading. Another skill, or another type of reading, we call it scanning reading. The other one, the third one, we call it intensive reading. The fourth type of reading, we call it extensive reading. Right? So, if you study alone, you read alone. Do you think reading skills is very useful when you read alone, or quite useful, or not useful? Choose one. Writing skills. Right. Now, writing skills. is it very useful in reading alone, or quite useful or not useful when you read alone? Vocabulary, is it very useful, quite useful, or not useful? What about other language skills like grammar, like speaking? Of course, speaking skills when you study alone, right? If you read alone, it's not useful here. It's not useful to develop your language skills, right? If you want to develop your speaking skills, reading alone is not useful, of course. You can't speak to anybody. Listening skills, when you read alone, reading alone, does it develop listening skills? I don't think so. Reading alone is not useful. It's not useful as well, right? You need to speak and to listen to others. So reading alone doesn't develop speaking and listening skills, right? It's not useful, right? Next page, yeah. Right. Let's start this text. First, I'm going to read the text. You listen to me. After I finish, what you do, you try to do the same. You read it and you record yourself while reading, and then check it and send it to your colleagues to give you a review. The title for this text, Simply Read. Right, so this topic, Unit 3, is about reading, okay? Right, reading skills, right. Let's read. In the mid-90s, right, two language researchers, conducted an interesting experiment with a group of students learning English at university. Right. These students were retaking compulsory English courses. Retaking, it means they are doing reading again. Maybe they failed last semester and now they are doing retaking exams. Right? They study reading again, or they are studying compulsory English courses. They had previously failed. Right. In language tests, these students were far behind the other university students. They were weak, right? Okay. As most of these students disliked studying English, few expected any improvement. Right. The researchers put these students in a special class for the second term of their English course. The class met for the same amount of time as the other English courses, but the teaching was very different. At the end of the term, the students took another language test and the results were surprising. In just one term, the students in the special class improved so much that their results in the new tests were almost as good as those of the other students. That means when they have put them in a special class, the next or second chance or second time, they succeeded, they passed it. Not only had their English improved greatly, but many of these students who used to dread English now enjoyed the class. Right. So here it's about special classes for some weak students, special classes. Okay, extensive reading now. What was the secret method that produced such dramatic results in these previously reluctant learners? The class was an extensive reading course. The subject here, they failed and they repeated it, was reading, was in reading comprehension. Okay? Extensive reading is simply reading a lot of English, reading almost every day. Right. At a fairly easy level. Being able to understand the text without needing a dictionary. In the second time or in second chance here, they asked them to read without using a dictionary. they ask them to try to understand the meaning from the text. Right. The students on the above-mentioned course spent almost all of their class time simply reading enjoyable books. Right. In study after study, researchers have found that extensive reading can play a big part in successful language learning. So reading is very important in learning English, for example. In fact, one study investigating language learning strategies found that reading for pleasure and looking for opportunities to read in English were the two factors most closely related to successful language learning. So reading is very important for learning a language. Right. Reading and writing now. It should come as no surprise that extensive reading helps students improve reading skills. Several studies have shown that students improve reading skills. Right. Several students have shown that students doing extensive reading for more than 1 year are almost always better readers than students who have only done the usual readings in class. Right? In class, extensive reading also allows students to improve their reading speed more quickly than just by reading difficult texts. Right? So extensive reading means you read a lot inside the class and at home. In short, people can learn to read well simply by reading a lot at an appropriate level. Right. What is even more surprising is how much extensive reading improves students' writing skills. So also you improve your writing skills if you follow what is so-called extensive reading. Right? In one study, students on extensive reading programs were evaluated as being 2 to 3 times better at writing compared with students who did not read much. Right. Yet, actually practiced the writing more. Many other researchers have come to similar conclusions. Which conclusion? Students who just read a lot can make equal or greater progress in writing than students who actually practice writing, at least where beginner and intermediate students are concerned. Right. This doesn't mean that practicing writing is unnecessary. Writing practice and extensive reading can be a powerful combination in developing writing skills. Okay, so here, writing and extensive reading. So extensive reading now and speaking skills now. Not only can extensive reading benefit reading and writing skills, it can also develop speaking and listening skills, though to a lesser extent. Right? One study of learning strategies found that reading outside the classroom was the most significant influence on oral communicative ability. Students who read a lot are more likely to speak well. Other researchers have found that students just reading graded readers, simplified books, especially for language students, improved in both fluency and accuracy of expression in their speaking, even though they did very little speaking during the course of the study. Right, so even here, extensive reading can improve listening and speaking skills. Right? Now, TOEFL tests. Do you want to have a good score in a test like TOEFL? perhaps you should start thinking about extensive reading. So extensive reading can be benefit for TOEFL tests. Researchers have found that students who often read in English in their free time tend to have high TOEFL scores, while those who do not tend to have low scores, they found that reading was a better predictor of TOEFL performance than the number of years spent studying English or living in an English-speaking countries. Another study showed that students who only read enjoyable books consistently improved their TOEFL scores, averaging between 3 to 4 points in the test each week of reading. Right. Now, how is it that just reading can bring all these benefits? Now the question, why is it? Extensive reading allows students to language in context over and over again, giving them the exposure they need to understand, organize, remember, and use it. Extensive reading also gives repetition of key vocabulary and grammar items, both essential to successful language learning, right? In short, extensive reading provides a very strong foundation on which to build language skills. Right. Extensive reading is not the only way to learn a language. Most language experts would agree that language students still need to spend a lot of time practicing speaking, listening, writing, and so on in order to become proficient in a language. However, including extensive reading in your private study can certainly do great things for your language ability. Not only is extensive reading effective, but it can be a very enjoyable way to learn a new language as well. Give it a try and see what it can do for you. Right, so extensive reading is good for language learning skills like writing, like grammar, like listening, speaking, and reading. It can improve all these skills, and also it can improve TOEFL tests for you, the score for TOEFL tests, right? It can improve your language in every way, right? That's why we usually say, try to read and record yourself reading, and try to understand the meaning without a dictionary. Try to understand something from the text itself, and all the time record yourself reading and listen to yourself. Right. We start the exercises. Let's start it. Let's give it a start. Right. Comprehension 1. The question. Decide if the sentences are true, you tick true, or false, you tick false, and write the number or the line number where the evidence is. How do you know it's true or false? You go back to the text, read, check the answer, and write the line number for why you choose true or false. Before I give you my correct answers, what you do, you switch off the video, you try to work in your sheet on your own. After you finish writing on your sheet, you switch on the video and you check your answers. Right now, switch off the video. Switch it off. Number 1. In paragraph 1, the students chosen for the study were those who had failed previous English courses and did not like English classes. Was that true or false? Actually, it was true. How do I know? You go back to lines 3 and 6. You find that they had failed previous English courses. Let's check. Right, in paragraph 1. Here, paragraph 1. Right? Lines 3 to 6. 1, 2, 3. Here. University, these students were retaking. Retaking means they failed before. Right? They had previously failed. Right? These students were far behind the other. Right? 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 So 3 to 6. Right? To 6. Up to here. Yeah. To 6. Of these students disliked studying English. That means English subjects for them were not interesting. They didn't like it. Right? Here. And did not like, yes. So 3 dash number 6. 2. After the experiment, the students in the extensive reading class did better in tests than students in the normal English classes. Was that true or false? Right? It was false, actually. False. Right? After the experiment, they did better. It's false. It was false. How do I know? Lines 12 to 15. Let's check. 12 to 15. 11, 12. Improved so much that their results in the new tests were almost as good as those. It's the same, as good as those of the other students. But it wasn't better. Right? Right? It wasn't better, no. It was improved. It was as good as those. Right? But it wasn't better. He said better. No, false. 3. We can infer that most of the students in this study were able to pass the course. They were able to pass, to succeed. Yes, true. Lines 12 to 13. Yeah, you find it. The previous, as in here, 12 to 13. Right. 4. To do extensive reading, you need to read a lot of challenging books. Challenging books. False. Not the challenging books. Difficult books. No. Line number, you find it, 19 to 20. 19 to 20. Here. Reading course. Extensive reading is simply reading a lot of English. Right? Reading almost every day at a fairly easy level. Right? Being able to understand the text. Right? So, at a fairly, not a challenging. Right? So, false. Right? False. 5. Reading enjoyable and rather easy books can improve overall reading skill and speed better than reading different texts. Right? True. It's true. Where do we find it? Lines number 34 and 35. 34 and 35. Here. Here. Extensive reading also allows students to improve, yes, their reading speed more quickly than just by reading difficult texts. Right? 6. With extensive reading, you can improve your writing skills without even practicing writing at all. Without practicing writing at all. Right? 3. True, sorry. True. Where do we find it? 43, 45. 43, 45. Here. 43 here. Students who just read a lot can make equal or greater progress in writing than students who actually practice writing. At least where beginner and intermediate students are concerned. Oh, yeah. Right, true. So true. 7. Reading really helps your reading, writing, and vocabulary skills, but it doesn't help your speaking ability very much. Doesn't help. Oh, false. It helps your speaking ability. So this is false. Where do we find the answer? Lines 55, 58. 55 here have found that students just reading graded readers, simplified books, especially for language students, improved in both fluency and accuracy of expression in their speaking. 8. Reading a lot in English can more helpful in tests like TOEFL than actually living in an English-speaking country. Right? True. You find it in number 64, 66. 64-66. Okay, you may switch on the video and check your answers here. Right? Right, okay. Now, comprehension 2. Answer the questions without using a dictionary. Right? Before I give you my correct answers, what you do, you switch off the video, you work on your own. After you finish, you switch on the video and you check your answers. Now, switch off the video, switch it off. 1. In lines number 4 to 5, what does the expression far behind, what does it mean here, far behind? Is it A, B, or C? Actually, it's C. It means the students had much lower test scores than other students. Okay, question 2. Reread the second paragraph. Which of the following is true? When you do rereading, reread the second paragraph. Right? Or read it again, second paragraph. The question, which of the following is true? The students in the study, A or B or C? Actually A. The students in the study improved considerably in English and many enjoyed the class. Right? So, improved in English and also enjoyed the class, but not students didn't improve or improved a little. No, improved considerably, noticeably in English, and many enjoyed the class, many of them. Right? 3. Reread the fourth paragraph. Read the fourth paragraph again. The question, which of the following is true? Which one is true? In the fourth paragraph, paragraph number 4. Is it A, B, or C? Have a look. Which one of these sentences is true? Actually, A is true. Students who like reading and look for chances to read more are very likely to be successful language learners. Who like reading and look for chances? Yeah, A. A is true. 4. In lines 35 up to 36, which of the following expressions can replace the words in short? Which of these can be the same as in short? Right? Actually, B. B in short means to summarize. To summarize, okay? 5. Reread the sixth paragraph. Sixth paragraph, read it again. And which of the following is simplified, or sorry, is implied? Which one of these mean implied? Right? Right. Actually, the answer is C. To develop advanced writing skills, extensive reading might not be enough. Right. So the answer is C. 6. What's the best paraphrase of lines 50 to 52? Paraphrase as a title for lines 50 to 52. Right? Which one is the best? Extensive reading is what? A, B, C, or D? Right? A. Actually, it's A. Extensive reading benefits reading and writing skills more than speaking and listening skills. Right? Right. 7. According to lines 52 up to 54, which of the following is true? Which one is true? Is it A, B, or C? Actually, C is true. C. We can make a fair guess as to whether a person speaks well, right? And based on how much reading they do. Sorry for this, it's not clear. B, letter B, based on how much reading they do. So C is right, is true. 8. Reread lines 61 and 66. Read them again, these lines. The question, which of the following is true? Is it A, B, or C is true? Actually, B. If you do not read very much, your TOEFL score is probably low. TOEFL score can be low. Right? We stop for a while here and then we carry on. Right? Right. Let's start this page. Yeah. Okay. Vocabulary. Fox number 1. Right. The question. Let's read the question. Let's read it. Sorry here. Complete the sentences with the words in the box here. These words. Then ask and answer the questions with a partner. Now, before I read the questions with these words, what you do is switch off the video. You try to work on your sheet. Try to read the questions on your sheet, and write these words in spaces. After you finish, you switch on the video and check your answers, okay? Now, switch off your video. Switch it off. Number 1. Let me read. How many English classes are you taking this term? Here, this term means this semester. 2. Are you willing? Willing here means do you want? Are you willing to approach? To approach means to reach. Are you willing to approach and speak to foreigner in English, or are you rather, let's say, reluctant to do that? Reluctant. This one. 3. Which do you think is more important? Speaking English fluently or speaking English accurately? Accurately. This one. 4. Do you think you would do better? Do you better in a or an oral evaluation? Right. So, do you think you would do better in an oral, this one, in an oral evaluation of your English ability or in a written evaluation? Right? So, do you think you would do better in an oral evaluation of your English ability or in a written evaluation? 5. Do you think your English ability is as good or better than most students your age? Or are you falling, right here, falling behind? Falling behind. It means they are better than you. Do you think your English ability is as good or better than most students your age? Or are you falling behind? Right. 6. It is important to study English in a good way. Do you know of any methods that are very effective? They are very effective means very good to improve English. Effective. 7. Is the time you spend studying English each day, right, consistent, or does the amount of time you spend studying English change a lot from day to day? So we write consistent here. Consistent. 8. Which classes are you taking this term, this semester, that are compulsory? Compulsory means you must study. Which classes are you taking of your own choice? Or your own choice means optional. Right? So here we write compulsory. This one. Now, after we write words in spaces, what you do, you can, for example, phone your friend using Viber and in advance ask your friend to prepare the answers, and ask your colleague or your friend using Viber questions, and your friend gives you the answer, and record yourself as asking and answering. After you finish, you check the recording. If you like it, you send it to your colleagues as a review. Next exercise, vocabulary box number 2. Complete the sentences with the appropriate form of the words in the box here. One word is used more than once. One word is used twice. Now, before I give you my correct answers, you switch off the video and work on your own in your sheet, right? Number 1, Judith, let's say, made impressive progress in her language ability just by watching a lot of films and TV programs in English, right? Made. So appropriate form. Appropriate form means you can use it infinitive or future or past according to the sentence, right? So here, made. We take make, change it into made. 2, some language teachers, right, conduct experiments on their language classes. Conduct. 3, language students also receive many benefits from extensive listening. Receive. 4, Maria acquired her English language skills while living in the United States. It's not clear here. States in America, United States. Right? Acquire, we change it into the past. Acquired. 5, language experts need to conduct more research on the most effective ways to learn languages. We use conduct. Conduct for the second time. Conduct. 6, students usually take the final test in the last class of term. Right. Take. We take as it is. Right? Next. Now, next exercise is what? Grammar. Right? Let's see here what we have on this page for grammar. Let's read the use of so and that. This form is used to express the result of an extreme action or situation. Example, the students in special class improved so much that their marks in the new tests were almost as high as the other English students. Right? Now, exercise grammar 1. Now, before I give you my answers, here, switch off the video and work on yourself. You read the sentence and check which the other sentence continues or related to this one. For 1, is it A, B, C, or D, or E? Now, switch off the video. Work on your own. Switch off. Match the sentences halves here to make logical statements together. 1, Jin Young studied so hard that she, right, we go to B, that she won a scholarship. So for 1, we write here B. Jin Young studied, Jin Young, this is her name, studied so hard that she won a scholarship. B. Number 2, Miguel stayed out so late that he couldn't wake up next morning. So here too we write here E. 3, the bloke in front of me was so tall that I couldn't see the cinema screen. Right? The bloke in front of me was so tall that I couldn't see the cinema screen. So here we write D. 4, Alyssa is so beautiful that every bloke wants to go out with her. A. We write A here. Or we write A here. In front of the sentences, we write these letters, okay? 5. The film was so childish, right, that I had to walk out after 30 minutes. So here we write C. We write C here. Right? So write letters here. Okay? Exercise, next, grammar 2. Complete the sentences with information about you now here. You read and write the words that are true for you. For example, number 1. The best book I ever read was so what? So beautiful, so interesting, what? So that I, right? The best book I ever read was so interesting that I read it again and again. Maybe. So read 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. Read them, complete spaces, and compare your sentences with your friends, right? And here, speaking also between you and your friends. With a partner, think of some interesting and fun ways to improve these skills. Listening, speaking, and writing. What do you do to improve listening? For example, you listen to CDs, right? You listen to songs, right? You listen to others speaking. And speaking, what do you do to improve speaking skills? And writing, and so on. For example, listening to, right, songs in English, for example, right? Next page. Let's go to the next page. Effective skills here. Scanning. Scan the text, this one here, to find the questions which give information about these topics. So we read the text first, and then we go back and write number of questions, these numbers. Question 1, question 2, we write them here. Right? So what we do now, first we read the text. Extensive reading, question and A. With Julian Bamford. Let's read. Julian Bamford is a professor in the School of Information and Communications at Bunkyo University in Japan. He is the author of numerous books, articles, and studies about language learning, including several books about extensive reading. This week, we asked him some of your questions. Question 1. I know that for extensive reading, I should read quite easy books, but wouldn't it be better if I read more challenging books with a lot of new vocabulary? A. The answer. Challenging books are useful, but are they enough? Do you play a sport? If you want to be good at sport, you need to practice. It's the same for reading. Extensive reading is a practice. Challenging material is not good for practice. Imagine trying to practice tennis with a Wimbledon champion. You'd never be able to hit the ball. To practice, you need easy, interesting reading material, and lots of it. So question 1, this is the answer. Question 2, I think that my weakest areas in English, right, I think that my weakest areas in English are speaking and listening. Well, extensive reading really helped me to develop these skills. The answer? We talk about grammar and vocabulary, about speaking and listening, and about reading and writing, but they are not separate, right? Next. English is all of them. Extensive reading strengthens your general English skills. So, yes, you become a better speaker and listener by reading. Is it better to just practice speaking and listening? It depends on you. The easiest way to learn English is to do what you like. Do you like reading? If so, do it. If not, do something else. Now, question 3. Getting a good mark in IELTS is the most important thing to me at the moment. The question here, can extensive reading really help? Isn't it better to go on some IELTS program, preparation courses? Now the answer, Extensive reading can help you with IELTS because it enables you to read faster and more confidently, and because it strengthens your general English. An IELTS preparation course can also help you. Which is better for you? Which is better for you? Well, perhaps you can do both and a lot of other English activities as well. Question 4. I have a problem finding books that I can read without having to use a dictionary. Where can I find reading material that matches my level? The answer: there are graded readers which are intended for students to read without a dictionary. Choose a series of graded readers at the right level for you, which is most have about 6 levels, from very easy to difficult. If there are just a few unknown words on each page, right, that's a good level for you. Here, that's THA, right? The best level is when you don't notice that you are reading in English. Try a higher level when you feel like, right? When you feel like if you. This one is if you here, right? Yeah, if you. When you feel like, if you are comfortable, yeah. Stay at the new level. If not, stay at the old one, right? Old one. Old one, yeah. Yes. Right. Question 5. What is the minimum amount of reading that I have to do to benefit from extensive reading? Would 20 minutes a day be enough? How about 10? The answer: how about 5? There is no minimum or maximum. Like practicing a sport, the more you practice, the more you benefit. The less practice, the less benefit. Why don't you read as much as you feel like today and tomorrow too? Extensive reading, unlike most classroom reading, means reading fluently for a general classroom reading. Means reading, fluently for a general understanding. It doesn't mean a particular amount of reading, rather, it's a way of reading, right? A book a week, if the book is at a suitable level, is a common guideline that should be enough to give you reading fluency, confidence, enjoyment, and some improvement in language. If you want to be more ambitious about using extensive reading for language acquisition, some experts suggest about 100 pages a week, about 20 minutes reading per day, 5 days a week, right? 5 days a week. Now the exercise page. Comprehension. Now, which of the opinions here would Julian Bamford be most likely to agree with? Now, before I give you my correct answers, you switch off the video and try to work on your own. After that, you switch on the video and check. Now, the author, Julian Bamford, which does she agree with here? Actually, she agrees with number 3, 4, and 6. 3, 4, and 6. 3. She agrees with a good way to become a good reader is to read a lot, and agrees with whenever possible, read books that are interesting for you, and agrees with when learning a language, it's very important to find methods that work best for you. Right? Right. And here discussion. Reading gives you exposure to natural English, but listening to English as much as possible is also very useful. Look at the table here. Take your pen and tick the appropriate box, right? Appropriate box here. So the appropriate boxes here. Discuss your answer with a partner. You do it with your partner, with your friend. Example, English listening activity, or English listening advice. Here, right? The listening advice, one of these. What did you do? Did you do it here? I already do this. Or you'd like to do this in future. You have done it, or you will do it in future. You tick, right? You tick. For example, watch English language programs on TV. Already you do it, or you will do it in future. Tick one of these. Watch English language films or DVDs. You do it, or you will do it. Listen to English broadcasts from the internet. You are doing, or you will do it in future. Use CDs from English language study materials. Tick one. You are doing it, or you will do it in future. Listen to English language songs. Tick one, here or here. Download and listen to English files on my MP3 player. Here or future. Try to listen to English every day. Here or in future. Do dictation exercises. Here or here in future. Others, you write here something you do to improve English listening here, and tick that you do it now or you will do it in future. Right? Good. Right. Very good. Right. Here. Now we go to the next page as an extra exercise, because this is the end for this unit. Next page, special exercise here. We have a special exercise. It's what? Vocabulary review. Revision. In a different way of exercises here. Right? The title, complete the crossword here with vocabulary from the text. Simply read. The second test, simply read. In unit 3, right? For example, here 5. It goes down. Goes down. That means what? Not across. Not like number 11. Number 11 across. But number 5 down. So down here, number 5 here. The quality of being correct or true in every detail. What do we call this? You find it on the text, right? Now, actually, you can find the answer of this on the next page of right answer key. Let's go to the next page. I'll show you answer key. All these are on the text here, and this one for the previous exercise, which is vocabulary review. So across number 11, down number 5 now. Down number 5. This is down. This is number 5. It's what? Accuracy. Let's go back. Here, 5 down. 5 down. The quality of being correct or true in every detail. We call it accuracy. A-K-C-C-U-R-A-C and Y. You write these letters here, and you can read it. Accuracy. Accuracy. This one here, it's 11 what? Across. 11 across. Across. 11. Not willing to do something. What's the word? Not willing to do something. And A-C-C-U-R. Starting with letter R. And it's mentioned in the text. Simply read. What you do, first go back to the text. Simply read. You find the word starts with R, and it means you don't want to do anything or something. What do we call that word? Actually, it's, you find it here. 11, across. Here, across, number 11, reluctant. Reluctant. You find it here. R-E-L-U-C-T-A-N-T. Reluctant. The word reluctant. And if you come to number 2, down. 2 down. 2 down, not changing in behavior, attitudes or qualities. And you find a letter here, which is R-E-L-U-C-T. You find letter T here before the end. and you find it in the text, simply read in Unit 3. So if you go back to the text, you try to find the word with letter T here. It means not to changing in behavior or attitudes, right? 2 down. If you come here, down, number 2, consistent. Consistent. T-E here. K-O-N-S-I-S-N-T. Consist. Yeah, letter T here. Tent. Yes, consistent. Right? And so here, reluctant, letter T here. Number 8, down, very large in amount or degree. Very large in amount or degree. And it has letter T here, the third letter T. You find the word and simply read. You can go back to the text. You try to check for the word which has letter T, the third letter, and you find the answer on the next page, right? If you don't know. So you try to do this exercise on your own, right? And you find the answers for vocabulary review here, and here the answers for all exercises on the text, right? So we stop here. Thank you very much. Good luck. See you inshallah next lecture. Thank you. Goodbye.